Yeah, and Zaxmack also playing goalie. The Atlas goalie we haven't seen that since season 6. I find it pretty interesting how they're just going all out on this role swap right now, and Real Otaku just here to suffice for that as well. The only one on main role, but he is also the only one that been has been put in as a sub for this week.
Yeah, that is for sure. I'm very interested to see how this goes, but I think the Awakens are definitely kind of in their favor here because STRK does really like missile prop, and Alex is also a very big missile prop enjoyer. And as we're seeing here, this missile prop is getting a lot of value off with the Alice managing to take the barrier, and Real Attack looking to get control of the core here. Unfortunately, Seki is in the way, but he does manage to get it, but quickly loses possession, and Wee's not looking a little long for this world, managed to get an evade off, and gets the orb, so now they have some HP to stay on the field here, and Ryotaku is working the bottom corner here, rotates it up to WEEB, but unfortunately doesn't manage to get the touch. And they do manage to keep the offense going here. A couple cooldowns are used, goes to the top corner, and the rose work from Estelle managed to get it in. They get the first point of the series with Ryotaku on the OSJS, from Daza. He's looking pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Showing that despite them being an entirely off-roll team, they are not going down without a fight. But Seki on his like, I don't know if he's like known for his X, but I think it looks pretty good. He's able to just walk in the goalie's face and just absolutely stomp them with all his abilities. And if Turbo and Obscure Reds are able to scale up, pinch Zaxmack and Wii, the backline with this like just onslaught of abilities, I think they can do pretty good and on the offense as well.
Absolutely. Zon is definitely, I do know that Zon is very comfortable in the Asher, and if anybody is comfortable in the Asher, they are definitely comfortable in the X as well. As we see, putting it in the corner here, being able to get that barrier, spends the core flip, looks to get it in, but unfortunately they weren't able to coordinate their abilities just close enough to be able to get the point here, but they do manage to keep control. Unfortunately, they lose possession here. Real Otaku not looking long for his world, not really wanting to get in there to start the offense, opting to cover the up clear instead. And it looks like he might be getting killed by X here. There's definitely plenty of punch to go around, but on the other side of the field, Turbo gets it in, evening the score 1-1.
Really nice point coming out from Strike. Obscure Breads unfortunately wasting the flip. I don't know what it was for, but we'll see how this pans out, if that's going to affect them at all coming into this next point. And wow, both barriers just falling so quickly on the side of Strike. And it looks like WEEB is in a very advantageous spot here.
Yeah, Obscure Bread's really wishing he had that core flip, but he wasted sooner, but luckily for him, his team is able to get both those berries back. A whip, shotgun from Real Attack kind of graced the offense a little bit, so we lose core control here, but beautiful offense on the top side from Real Attack, and we didn't really need that shotgun shell if you just have another one. And on top of that with Rose Warp, that means Wee's Little Beast is now 2-1.
Yeah, Real Otaku and Wii with the needles and the shotgun, just able to cover so much space, just able to kind of get in your face with all the the AOE abilities and stuff like that. And it's especially going to help them in the open space as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And with the way that they're playing this comp too, the fact that they have missile prop, they're definitely planning to just kind of cover as many options as possible, which is kind of something that Trek Brawler is kind of good at doing, to be honest. Especially when you have missile prop, it's definitely kind of becomes an option that you can do. And on top of the fact that you have an Estelle, oh, holy Sad Boys angle from Zax there, but yeah, like he said, there's so many range that both Drakkar and Estelle can cover. It becomes really scary for when you're just like a little now brawler, or well, a now goalie, I guess. I don't really see a now brawler happen very often here, but Obscure Price is able to hold down for a moment. Unfortunately, Zanseki's Bellringer is not able to defend the goalie, and that's kind of why we don't see X in the net, but Real Attaku is definitely showing signs of life, and Weasel first gets the first set here.
Real Otaku showing that he is not one to be messed with coming into this next set. That being said, though, the Estelle is going to get the MVP as the pick of the litter here. Let's see what they pick up. They're not really opting to go for anything. Never mind. They do pick up the hot shot, of course, something very known for Estelle's to always be taking. That's going to be a team player on Obscure Breads as well. Fire up on Zaxback is going to be able to help. Just get in there with the front line as well as maybe himself. Breakson, what are your thoughts on this draft right here?
A lot of course speed is definitely going to be into effect here, and Picard actually gets even more projectile range. It's pretty interesting. But Zon does get a Spark here, which is also pretty nice. Sparks are nerfed across the board because they're just that strong. But I still think even then they're still good. But holy moly, Axe is now taking out the field, and Rataku is looking like he might not be long for this world. Uh, Strike second now has both barriers open, looking like they want to take us to that next set here. Offense being 1v9 by WEEB here, but unfortunately just strikes it to the black hole, keeping Ryotaku low. A little bit of a blunder on their side of it to end here, but if Ryotaku manages to stay alive, you don't have to worry about that too much. And Turbo is being able to keep the core on their side, letting their team get the kill on Ryotaku, and it looks like they are trying to not trying to pass around the we actually opting to try to keep the pressure down in the edge, maybe trying to get him on the ledge line, which is also very fair considering that you have Aimi and X on your team. They can definitely do that. Offense is now rotating on the top side. Real Taku covering the out clear for the Estelle, which is honestly pretty good. It's a very solid fundamental positioning to do, and Saxmac managed to get the clear. Offense, the core control is looking a little frenzied right now. He gives up core control back to Estelle, but it's okay. It's bouncing around like a madhouse right now. Neither team's really able to get the core somewhere comfortable, but the corner offense from X and Aimi unfortunately goes awry. Nothing is made. Oh, real attack with the core flip to the top side! And that is the first point. It is 1-0, and it looks like they want to win the next set here.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out is that if I think if Real Otaku is able to just wait until we can, you know, kind of scale his abilities up with him and not leave it until he's staggered to do so, I think the offense will go a lot quicker. And I think that as well, if they can just play like in general like a little more patiently, I think it'll do wonders for them.
Absolutely. Is like a lot of responsibility is on those shoulders. The backwards beam right there was a little scary, but it didn't really matter because Seki was able to just send it to the bottom side anyways, and looks like Strike is looking like they are getting their bearings together now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, very interesting points coming out. Strike is finally finding their footing in these late points, but that doesn't mean that WEEB isn't out yet, as they do get 2 barriers, and Turbo is currently staggered right now. I'm excited to see how this point goes on.
Yeah, so damage keeps stacking up. I think that damage is definitely a win condition that WEEB can definitely take advantage of here. Even though they're staggered, they do manage to get that conversion. Real Taku looking pretty comfortable, able to convert whenever he gets the core. Surprisingly well, to be honest, he is doing a very good job against this Nazzle goalie.
Yeah, the little sneaky Drakkar play with the secondary, able to catch Obscure Reds off guard completely there. That's going to be some damage on his Seki as well. If he's able to do that 2 more times, then Real Otaku is looking great, as well as the rest of his team as well.
Definitely here, and they are, unfortunately, well, actually the berries are equal, but unfortunately, both berries haven't gone on WEEB's side here, and they are looking pretty on razor thin edge here, and the glitch pop from Turbo, able to 1v9 the offense as Zonseki was just covering the out clear for him. The set count is now 1-1, and Obscure Breads gets the MVP.
Yeah, bunch of interesting stuff coming into this draft. Zonseki, I know he's fiending for that spark. Not actually gonna hover the Adrenaline Rush here, but Obscure Bread's opting for the Omega Infused Accelerator, and we taking the Spark of Strength as well. Is this going to be a double deny coming out from WEEB? Yes, that is. And we now see Zonseki getting the Adrenaline Rush. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this Adrenaline Rush will mean in this game right now, as they're not sorry, they have the kills. They're getting the damage down. If they're able to get the confirms, it could be pretty catastrophic for the side of WEEB. But Zonseki fiending for this kill. It's gonna get the Atlas res. Great Atlas res coming up from Zaxmac, and I'm just really excited to see how these points go out.
Yeah, but damage definitely looking like it's starting to come online for Strike second here, as they are keeping WEEB low, and they just popped the Atlas res trying to kill Otaku. But it doesn't matter if Real Taku just managed to get both barriers. Real Taku and WEEB two brawlers. One of them is off-roll, one of them is just like fresh from OSAS here. They're doing really good, and if they're able to keep this up, like bring the offense back on their side, I think that they will be able to get the point. But Turbo with the beautiful sentry at the bottom here, and a beautiful glitch pop managed to get the kill. Both boards are dead on the other side in the blink of an eye. Turbo has his core flip, he opts to use it, brings it around the sack spec, which is absolutely correct because he does also have his core flip. Turbo with the strike, loses it to the strike shot. Core control is lost, almost goes in, but they're able to keep it alive. And oh my god, Sonseki kills the goalie as well. He's not long for this world though, as he is very low, but he might be able to try to convert here. Unfortunately, he does not. Ryo Ataku looked like he's gonna die. Adarash is procced for the third time this set, and Turbo with all that core speed is able to send it in with an insane first point from Strike Second.
The damage is absolutely on the line right now. Sonseki playing like a damn madman in the face of WEEB. If they're able to do this like for a couple more points, even like they don't even need to do that for like the rest of the game. If they're able to just do that for a couple more points, they're looking really good as they do take the double barrier. But Turbo is looking pretty low right here.
Absolutely, Turbo looks like the damage is starting to be on the flip side here. They realize that the best way to deal with damage is to kill the other team, and with that black hole coming up soon and Turbo being low, he can definitely be taking a lot of damage here if he's not careful. The core flows over to Zonsek and he's able to start an offense. Glitch, Turbo's coming over to the other side to be able to help him. Turret is placed against the spatial. It managed to play it successfully, and Zonseki in the corner manages to take out both Wee and Zaxmag. Zaxmag opting to hold the core flip for the next point here.
Yeah, gotta watch out for that X Maximus. Can't play around with it when it's in the corner in your face like that. Even when you're Atlas, you gotta be ready for it. And this means that Strike is in a really good spot right now, having one barrier down onto WEEB. But Wee with the flip here is gonna get one barrier, but unfortunately not two. Let's see if they can, you know, kind of collapse on Strike right here.
Absolutely, they're doing a great job with the offense here, managing to do corner offense and be able to put the damage back on Turbo, but unfortunately, Ryo Ataku looks like he is getting hit. Unfortunately, gets killed by the glitch pop. Turbo is still also low, though. He didn't commit too hard to the offense here, or else he might get shot. But on the flip side, Wee is also looking not long for this world, as they are doing a really good job at putting their cooldowns where they want their target to be, and Wee's still low. But Zonseki, Obscure Briz overextending off the offense here, loses a barrier. Now it's an open net for Strike Second, and they're probably looking like they might be dying soon as well. A potential power play on behalf of Wee here can really turn things around. Might be able to get this point if they manage to get out of the corner here, but Turbo does not want to give it up. The turret is placed, but unfortunately didn't get much value, not able to touch the core, but that core flip gets so much value, but Zonseki is dead, and they can't convert the... It's actually a power play from their side here, as Red Tacky just kind of wins the 1v1 against Obscure Briz. He just struck shotgun. Strike primary. Forbidden Drakar technique right there.
Yeah, Ryo Ataku, despite being a couple levels behind the rest of everyone on the field, he's still in this game and looking really like he's contributing. He's still trying his best to contribute, but you know, if you're not getting the ball, unfortunately, both of your barriers just got taken down. Not much you can do as the brawler there. And oh my god, that's a kill on Zonseki, but both of the two members on WEEB looking pretty low here. If they can, you know, make up for the damage here, oh, that's gonna be a kill out of Ryo Ataku. Never mind. Yeah, if they're able to, you know, clutch out this point right here, you know, things could. It's looking pretty close here, and if they're able to like clutch it out a little bit, they're able to like, you know, kind of get their footing in the set. I could see the set turning around.
Absolutely, if they're able to keep this X and Ivy out of the corner here, or like so just successfully hold it down and take it away from them, and if they manage to survive as well and not get shot, because Otaku really hasn't had much participation in this game, partly because Cord doesn't end up on his side very often, but also because he's just been the focus of damage, which is very common for the brawler, right? You always just kind of have to be just a sign of something that brawlers are used to. They just kind of get shot all the time, but Estelle actually is the one who gets shot here, the midfielder. Birth of the spent by Zaxmag. It bounces up and down a couple times, and does the primary from Atlas. Ryo Ataku hunts it in to the top side, and Zaxmag is able to get the point with that.
Yeah, after it looked pretty bleak, going down 0-2, and at the start of the set, WEEB has managed to get their footing here and make it a 0.5. That's going to be one barrier down for Strike as well. WEEB looking pretty good coming into this this point 5 here.
Absolutely, both teams are looking very scary. Absolutely, either side, it could go either way. But another thing that you have to think about is this X definitely scales, and it's pretty good X patch overall. Just pretty consistent character this patch, I'd say. Definitely middle of the pack at the very least. And we're seeing a lot of damage being pumped out by this X here. And on top of the Ivy too, looking like they're trying to start an offense on the top side. A crazy strike from Zonseki. Seems like he simply struck second. And not only did he strike second, he struck third as he was able to win 2 strike wars there on his own.
Yeah, Zonseki, MVP for this set, has the absolute pick of the litter here. So many options. You can go for the bulk up, even the tempo swing, or the catalyst, even the reptile remedy to deny the the big healing. But I'm looking at a tempo swing for him as tempo swing gives you a ton more damage, but it is going to opt for the bulk up. Respectable pick right there. Atlas getting this Manu is going to be a lot easier to defend his barriers with. And the reptile remedy going out to WEEB for the healing, and catalyst on the IME gonna be, I don't know how good Catalyst is right now, but I'm thinking it's pretty decent, And the Among Titans helping, the Among Titans on Breads is not only gonna help for his own speed, for his own benefit, but is also gonna help his teammates like quite a lot here going into this next set.
Absolutely, the size is definitely very nice to have on X, and Ime is also one of the midfielders that definitely appreciate a lot as well. And like the Turbos just has a great speed build right now. But right now, Zaxback unfortunately whiffs his strike shot, but gets the boys angle, tries to go for on the bottom side, but unfortunately whiffs it. But I respect the effort either way. Corner offense is getting passed around, and passed around the Atlas. They succeed, and they managed to keep the offense on their side. Turbo had a core flip, opting not to use it. Probably wasn't in range for it, which is honestly fair enough, but opts to use it now and able to get in the top corner with WEEB with another backwards primary. A little sketchy, but sometimes I guess it's understandable. It doesn't hit Thunder goalie, so it's a little risky, but maybe it works out.
Yeah, unfortunately for the side of WEEB, Strike is able to collapse so much, more consistently, as this X and IME are nothing to be scoffed at, of course. They're just able to get in the corner so easily and just pump out all this damage. It's absolutely terrifying if you're on the side of WEEB. Even with that Atlas, isn't able to suffice for that healing. Yeah, as we can see here too, the damage just, or the corner offense just coming into absolute fruition here.
Absolutely, and X and Ami doing a really good job at passing it around them as well. And as we saw there, Zonseki didn't actually opt to use the core flip to strike straight at the barrier, but rather to add turbo there. And now they are looking super healthy as they are 2-0 about to take the first game here. It seems like Weasel is looking like they're struggling a little bit now.
Yeah, the energy economy is I think it's almost exactly equal for both teams. If one team is able to get in the corner with the core flips, I think they'll be at a pretty good spot. But that's Real Otaku getting pretty low here. It's not looking the greatest for WEEB right here.
Yeah, they managed to get core control on their side of the field now, and they're just taking out Turbo along with the core flip here. They managed to keep the offense on the top side. Turbo does burn the core flip here, but Real Otaku is also low, and Turbo manages to get the orb. Tries to glitch palm Real Otaku into the black hole there. Almost kills his brawler again. Luckily this time he was able to get out of the way in time. And offense on the bottom side here with X and Ime. If Ime has his turret up, that could spell doom for the barrier there. Turbo with the Cyber Swipe edge to kill them, and the turret is online now. Corner offense is looking strong. Atlas burns his spatial expanse, doesn't really get any value out of it, unfortunately. Zonseki's in this corner with the ult now, looking to take Wee off the field, and I think he could very well do it. Zaxback pops his barrier on the top side, and manages to keep it safe. It looks like Wee's looking a little low for his world. Oh, Zaxback misses his strike shot again. Open barrier is now on both sides as Zonseki's hits the bull rush for the 3-0 in the final set. And now the series is 1-0 for Strike second.
Yeah, that was an absolutely amazing showing from Strike, coming into this week with absolute confidence in the corner offense. I think they're looking pretty good coming into this game too, but that doesn't mean that WEEB is out of this yet, because they could have a couple of new tricks up their sleeves that the rest of the cast, the rest of the people in the lobby haven't seen yet.
Yeah, definitely not. And Real Otaku, honestly, they did a lot better than I was expecting, considering the fact that they came from OSAS. They made the first test look competitive, but unfortunately, the damage on the side of Strike second was just kind of overwhelming. As if you look at the stat line here, both Turbo and Zonseki have so much damage. They're both over 30,000 compared to now, with just like immediately they even break 10,000 lowest damage in the lobby, but it doesn't really matter when the other your other teammates, your forwards, are just pumping up the damage like crazy, and they were able to get so much damage out, and they were able to get so many kills. They converted on the power plays very well, and like they managed to succeed around passing around the Atlas pretty comfortably. Like they did a lot of corner offense, but they also rotated the core very intelligently as well. A lot of the times they kind of burnt all of Atlas's cooldowns and just passed around him, and when that happens, Atlas can't really do much. I think they did a good job at doing that. And on the flip side, I think on the behalf of like Weasel of Bees, I think we're gonna have to figure out how to deal with this corner offense because a lot of damage is being dumped in that corner whenever they're doing it, and it's kind of hard to adapt to that. So if they kind of got to get it out as soon as possible, but it's also really hard to do that at the same time. And uh, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my plan, if I were Weeb here, is to just ban that now out, so they don't really have all the options, like for the speed and all that stuff. Like, I think, yeah, I think they should honestly just kind of ban them now. Maybe they might get Era, and I would just, if I'm real Otaku, I'm slamming the X here, as he's also not foreign to that pick, but it also denies Zonseki, forcing him to go for that Asher, which I don't think will be as lethal as the X here. And yeah, honestly, that's just my plan. If and also if Weeb is able to scale the damage as well as Strike did in this first game, I can see I could see the tables turning here. But we do have Imi's out for game two. I'm really interested to see how this goes as a Chrono Boost and Omega Infused Accelerator start is being shown right now.
it looks like it's definitely going to be a pretty speed heavy game, but at the same time, we do have these two speed awakenings, but this is Imi's app we're talking about here. And honestly, I feel like all of Real Otaku's picks here, he is definitely a Jakar player as we've seen, but he's also a Julie player. I believe Julie is definitely his comfort pick, but he's also certainly got hands on Asher as well, if I do recall correctly. And I believe in the first game, they actually banned out Otaku's Asher, so clearly he must have been putting the work on that character. So if he's able to get that pick, it seems like striking second does ban the X. They do not want Otaku on that character, as it seems like V does have their first pick here. I'm kind of curious to see if they opt to go for a brawler pick here. And yeah, Real Otaku gets his Julie.
Yeah, look, it's looking pretty good for the side of Weeb getting that Julie first pick. That's what you want to see coming into this. But interestingly, Weeb does ban out the Octavia. I mean, it makes sense because Octavia on Chrono Boost, Omega Infuse start pretty crazy. But I'm not sure if Octavia really puts in the work on Imi's app, let alone if Turbo, or I mean, maybe Obscure Reds plays Octavia goalie, but if Turbo is able to like pilot that Octavia as well, like as some of the like really good Octavia players, but that's gonna be the now being punched in from. I think Obscure Beds is just opting for the now goalie again, as Turbo does also opted for that Kai. Really speed heavy comp coming into this Imi's app game.
Absolutely. And honestly, it's fair enough considering the fact that we have Chrono Boost and Omega Infuse Accelerator here. It's definitely not the wrong picks here. And if you're able to like not die, they were definitely did have agency over the damage game. So I think they're pretty confident into not really going into that. Oh, I think that's a Rasmus goalie that we have here. If it's a Rasmus midfield, I'd be pretty surprised. You don't see that very often. But considering the fact that we have Real Taku and we, both brawlers, coming into this map here, I honestly could see it happening because we is also a very famously so a Julie like X1 trick. Julie is definitely their strongest character. I honestly might be surprised to see maybe like replaying Julie and then Rasmus also being piloted by the Otaku here. They might go for oh yeah, that's a Dubu goalie. They might be opting for a double brawler comp here into the Ivy's app here.
Yeah, I think double brawler on this map, specifically on if you're on Rasmus, is pretty real, as Rasmus and Julie are able to just keep you at like that. You have to pretty much always be focused on them, or else they will catch you off guard and they will kill you. That's gonna be a Centauro pickup though, coming up from Zonseki, as they're just planning on like relying on just the brute force and the speed to kind of overcome that this comp coming out from the side of Weave.
Yeah, absolutely. And we honestly have two pretty explosive comps here. I can't lie. Double Brawler is famously a pretty, very, very explosive comp because it's a very feast or famine comp. Because if the core is not on, like, if the Brawlers don't have the core, then it's pretty miserable for the goalie as they have to be able to put in a lot of work to be able to give their Brawlers some signs of life. And honestly, with a map like Amisap, normally this kind of thing happens on Demon Days, but if you're able to farm those edge KOs good enough, like Julian Raz can, it's definitely a possibility here. But I also think that this Sentaro Kai now comp, it's very explosive and it's definitely going to be putting a lot of pressure on Madubu here. So I'm kind of curious to see if they would be able to get that core out of that very aggressive pressure and be able to get it in the hands of the double brawlers.
But I think Dubu is able to, kind of counteract this comp pretty well. As Dubu, if you don't have hit stun versus him, like he's pretty hard to get through. But this Centauro is going to be the only way of getting the hit stuns onto Dubu. But Dubu is also pretty susceptible by getting outsped a lot. But I think he might be opting into the Omega Infused Accelerator, as Chronovus Dubu would be pretty interesting to see. That being said, though, I think this is a pretty like it's a really weird start, right? I I wouldn't be surprised if the if the Julie went Chrono Boost just so they wouldn't die, and I also wouldn't be surprised if Rasmus went Chrono Boost, as Chrono Boost on Rasmus is honestly pretty strong right now.
Yeah, I honestly definitely agree with that statement. And once again, taking OIA on Amizap is definitely a death wish because with a map that's already so KO heavy, just making yourself even weaker to that damage gameplay is definitely something you kind of want to avoid in general. And once again, Wee's definitely going to be enjoying that Chrono Boost as I see him hovering that Rasmus. It seems like Ryotaku is actually going to be the one playing the Julie here, so I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that. Wee seems to be giving up the reins and giving the Julie to Ryotaku, and they are both kind of Julie one tricks. So well, I guess I shouldn't say one tricks, but they're definitely Julie specialists, I should say. And I'm very interested to see how this game goes and to see who opts to take OIA and who doesn't.
Yeah, definitely. As we come into this game, there's going to be
Oh,
three people opting for the Omega Infused Accelerator: Real Otaku, Zaxmac, and Obscure Breads. On Real Otaku and Zaxmac, I kind of expected it, but not on Obscure Breads. I mean, Chrono Boost on now is pretty dangerous. It's able to like give your team so much more speed, but it's not the worst pick of all time. As Siphoning Wand, Zentaro, Chrono Boost. I honestly expected Zonseki to take Chrono Boost or Omega Infused Accelerator, but that's not the case here. As the dash range on Zentaro is pretty, it's not bad. Honestly, it's pretty like it's pretty decent, but it does also remove the opportunity for you to get explosive entrance. Well, it doesn't exactly, but you would have to be dealing with double dash range, and I think that it just kind of messes up the damage a little bit in my opinion, but that doesn't mean that they're out of this yet as coming to this game here.
absolutely. Taking Chrono Boost on Zen. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, taking Chrono Boost on
Oh,
Zentaro can definitely be risky considering the fact that you're kind of missing out on that explosive impact, or at least giving a lot less value, but who cares about that if you're just able to KO them, as Sanseki and Turbo just kind of running him a soccer, killing both Wee and Zaxpack, being able to get the first point there.
yeah, Zonseki being so explosive with this siphoning wand here, gonna be a quite annoying like hindrance for the Weeb, as they don't really have anything to kind of counteract that, as I think the Centauro can honestly scale pretty out of control kind of easily.
Definitely, and this patch is definitely a very W Zentaro patch. I've been seeing a lot of Nassau Brawlers starting to pick up here, and I can definitely see why, as offense is starting nice and calm here, trying to get it to the top side. Zackmike does manage to clear it out. They do. Yeah, oh, yep, okay. Reed's looking like he's taking a lot of damage here. Obscure Braids with Core Clip being able to definitely comfortably be on that side. Zaxback tries to go for the KO. Real Taku collapses on top, being able to get that kill there. Obscure Braids doesn't care
my
as he
God.
thinks to kill him on score with primary Core Clip, which is very scary. It's a 2v2. Power play has been neutralized. Turbo's running up here, but Zaxback gets a W clear. But now Turbo and Zonseki are doing a trying to collapse on the bottom side there. Unfortunately, did not work out. Ryotaki went for a greedy dash punch. Zach's not going for an even more greedy dash punch, able to get it on Turbo here, and now they have a power play. First one was neutralized, but now this time they have the advantage, and they can manage to get the barrier, rotating it to the bottom side. Zanseki also used his ult here to try and get it out, but unfortunately, they weren't able to do it for 2 lines, and Taro dies, unfortunately, to his dash.
Yeah, I mean, all the kills coming out at this point, as the black hole is gonna claim the lives of so many people. That doesn't mean that either team is out of this yet, as we do see Obscure Breads putting on an absolute show. Zaxmac dribbling it off the center, gonna make this game pretty interesting. Real Otaku with the shot though, so close. If both teams are able to keep up the tempo, I think this game is gonna be pretty exciting.
Yeah, this game has definitely had an incredibly explosive start already, as I swear there's probably been like 10 bodies flying already, and it's just the second point. Unfortunately, we, with this support flip, was patient, but unfortunately, patience is not enough to score all the time. As now offense rotates from top side to bottom. We opts to spin it to the top. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Core does play to Zanseki, and he gets the point to the top, and now it is 2-0 for Strike second.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Wii here with no evade. Zanseki and Turbo might just be able to jump on Wii, and he's not gonna be able to do much. That being said, though, the ball is gonna spawn on the top side here, so Wii is gonna be able to live a little bit longer, as he still has no evade here, but scaling in Breads' face. I think honestly, if Weeb is able to catch these KOs in the black hole and on the ledge, that they will be in a pretty good spot coming into, you know, future sets. You know, they can lose a couple, but, you know, Julie and Rasmus are able to get KOs so easily, and if they're able to keep that up, I mean, who knows how this game will go.
Big damage. Well, not so much the damage, more so the KO on just like everything. Nobody's really been expecting to get KO'd where they have been, I'm sure, because people haven't really been getting stagger first before they get KO'd, but right now we're definitely seeing that happen with Ryotaku. No evade, no stagger, looking like he is definitely doomed to die in the top corner here, but he'll be off to walk back, which is understandable. Zaxmac walking forward as the new brawler. Fresh stagger from Ryotaku lets him come back in. Cork floats around the behind the barrier there, able to save it, which is very good for them. They managed to keep the barrier up, and it's now overtime, and neither side has taken the barrier. I spoke too soon, as Turbo just managed to take the barrier. Zanseki's looking to get a point. Backwards dash to get control of the board, and I never saw it dash backwards like that, but it worked out so well, but I just saw it happen, as now it is 3-0 for Strike second, and Obscure Breads gets the MVP.
That was absolutely crazy from Zanseki right there, dashing backwards onto the black hole, ricocheting off the black hole into the net. That was absolutely unexpected. This now with the MVP is going to offer the Monumentalist, but Dubu here, he's going to have a couple options here. He's going to offer the Fire Up. I was more so expecting the Rapid Fire to deny from the Kai, but you know, Fire Up is nothing to be scoffed at. As we see a few good picks here as well. Catalyst on the Zendaro is really good for Zentaro, even with the reduced energy on hit, and a real Otaku getting the Spark of Strength, just with the more power, might be able to catch a couple more KOs here.
Absolutely, they haven't. Oh, I mean, I spoke so soon, as KOs is definitely something that will be happening this game. There's definitely not a matter of if, but a matter of when, as all first 10 seconds of the game, Zentaro does in fact fall. It seems like that they're really struggling against, like, not dying, but it doesn't seem to matter because they are doing a really good job at the offense here, regardless of the fact that they were down a player. Turbo was able to keep offense going, but unfortunately Turbo is no longer here with us, and Real Attack with a beautiful dash punch, able to score against Obscure Breads, as we're seeing them starting to be able to convert these power plays, which I think is what they were struggling with in the first set here, but they were able to do it this time.
Yeah, this game can turn into a slaughterhouse pretty quickly if Strike isn't able to answer on, you know, getting these evades out, just being able to dodge the confirms, maybe even countering the damage with damage of their own, and in general, I think Weeb is looking pretty good coming into this next set, as they're absolutely just trying to pummel the wall, but isn't going to be able to, and in fact is going to be able to be answered by Strike with a barrier of their own.
Absolutely. Zaxmac showing that this isn't a double brawler comp, but actually a triple brawler comp with the aggressive walk-up that he just had. Now Zanseki almost gets it in from the top side there with a nice mix of whips and Taro. Still has more left to throw in the kitchen sink here. Walks away from Corklow, which is honestly understandable, considering the fact that it was just stuck in the Toku Fortress. Turbo passes to Zanzeki. They tried to get the shot in, but they tried to collapse the corner, and Zaxmark was too busy in the middle of a log as I eventually flow past him somehow. And Zanzeki was just able to strike it through. Now it's 1-1.
Yeah, I think the real answer for WEEB here is if I'm not sure if they should be like trying to push it through the corner as much as they really are right now. I think if they kind of just take their time on, you know, getting the rotates out versus this now, because I think now is kind of like, especially with the Monu, it's kind of where you want to be as like as the answer to the offense that we was kind of putting out. But that's a goal on onto Real Otaku, a greatly placed shot from him, and that's gonna mean that they're up 1 point, and this is set point for Weasel Bees.
Yeah, good point from Real Taku there. Able to get the point against Obscure Breads there. Looking pretty healthy, and if they're able to do that again, they're able to just get power play and be able to start to convert off these like conversion or just off these plays, it would be great. But unfortunately, Real Taku taking a lot of damage here, and Obscure Breads also used the core flip to do even more damage on Taku, and he doesn't have an evade to really dodge anything, so he does not want to be in this top corner here. But thankfully for him, both Weed and Zaxmack are able to cover all the options, able to keep the side on behalf of Weed, or Strike Second, I should say. But unfortunately, they did finally break loose. But if Real Taku managed to convert, but he does not. He's still low HP. He can't commit too hard, but he wins the strike forward against Obscure Breads, and now the set's 1-1.
Real Otaku not going down without a fight. Like I said last game, he's looking absolutely great coming into the second set. But Zaxmack is the MVP for this one. It's gonna have a couple options here. He could. I'm not really sure where Zaxmack goes. I think he just kind of slams the hot shot right here. As it, on the side of Strike, Turbo has a lot of options here. Could go for the fight or flight, which is going to be what he picks up, but I could have seen an explosive entrance coming out as well. And Juliet getting the heavy impact as well. That's going to be a really strong Juliet, but Zentaro getting the explosive entrance. That's nothing to scoff at if you're both teams actually, as the double dash range actually, I just realized, is going to come out from Zanseki. If he's able to pilot that pretty well, then I can see the game, you know, I could see the game's like tides kind of turning here.
Absolutely, and another thing too is there's that secret like instant teleport tech that you can do with Zentaro too. If you manage to pull it out with all that dash range, it can become quite the tool. But with a beautiful offense on the top side here, he clearly does not need to use it, as Zanseki and Turbo were able to take the barrier and also get the point without having to take any lives.
Yeah, Zanseki and Turbo being able to counter the Dubu wall so well here. That's Turbo going crazy in the corner, not one to mess around with. And Zanseki with the flip here is going to be countered by Zaxmack's ult or log right there. With the Rasmus hook, almost going to catch the life of Turbo, but fortunately he did have an evade here.
Yeah, but we unfortunately does stay out of the play for a little bit. Unfortunately, gets hit by Zanzeki, and with that dash range, is able to cover space so quickly. It's now a 1v9. Zaxmack versus the world. It looks like he's going to get rotated. Oh my goodness! He gets the Tofu Fortress on Zaxmack, blocks to cut the pass, and passes it up to Wii after the power play, which is honestly a correct play, even if it looked pretty scary. And oh my god, it almost went in with all that core speed, but thankfully it did not. Zaxmack with this beautiful control over the core, able to put like so much chaos into order, and now the offense is now on their Strike Second side of the field here. But unfortunately, it did not last for long, as we was not able to be in position to help Taku on the offense here. And Zanseki with the core flip also go to the top side, but both of the forwards on the defensive back line were able to catch it there. Oh my goodness, catches Zanseki off guard with that hook, and now they're trying to get it through Turbo. Passes it around, but unfortunately Ryotaku isn't there to be able to capitalize off it. But with a beautiful Tofu Fortress, and Ryotaku trying to convert it with that punch. It was very good, but Zaxmack was the one who got the point there, and now it's 1-1.
Yeah, we've just. I was gonna say that they were kind of falling out of the kills there, but they absolutely answered back with violence in that last point. As in this corner here, it's like. Yeah, I think if they're able to just keep answering with kills of their own and make sure that they're not the side of Strike isn't able to get any kills of their own, it will look really good for them.
Yeah. Oh my god, beautiful striker win from Real Otaku, and that's really all that you need to do after you get a power play. You just kind of have to win your interactions, and Real Taku definitely showing he can do that. Despite the fact that Zaxback is level 9, approaching level 10 already, Rare Taku, when he gets the core, is able to convert. And that is definitely looking like he is also able to get the KO, as Zanseki is dead, trying to contest the corner there, but unfortunately, it was not safe to do so, as now Lee passes, gets the core, looking to try to get it to Real Taku. Puts on the bottom side, but all three members of Strike Second are there. So Real Taku with the ult and the dash, trying to get it in, but unfortunately, he's looking not long for this world as he's staggered just for his core flip, and now he's dead, but WEEB responsible for the KO of his own. Now it's a 2v2. Zaxmack looking to help on the top side here, leaves the bottom open. Sonseki is able to walk with the core here, but Zaxmack does not fall to the bait, as he looks like he has to spend a core flip, doesn't spend the core flip and loses barrier for it. Now Zanseki is looking like he's ready to collapse to the top side, whip core flip, whip passive strike, but it does not do anything as Zanseki it looks like he wants a kill on Real Attack, walking backwards for that KO. Unfortunately does not get it. I mean, Turbo to engage in the offense. He tries to rotate up and dies from the hook, and Real Attack with the ults, despite being staggered, managed to get it in.
Real Otaku is looking really good coming into this next set. I thought it was 2-1, but actually they just take the set of their own. And we looking really good with these Rasmus hooks, doing absolutely a fantastic job of, shutting down the offenses or even the defenses or the rotates coming up from Strike here. As Dubu does have the first pick, has a lot of options here, but I'm looking at this potential spark of focus coming in from Juliet, but it is going to be denied, and now Juliet is going to opt for the Orb Dancer. I was more so thinking the Tempo swing, but Orb Dancer is also a pretty good pick, as we got more size on this Rasmus too. Is maybe able to proc the Deadeye on the Pendulum swing. It's already proccing on the ult too, and yeah, I think honestly, I'm really liking the drafts of both teams here.
He's definitely starting to pump out a lot of damage here. As Real Taku is taking a lot of damage. Oh my god, pops the recovery drone already for the Giga from Turbo. And Obscure Bread is taking to half HP just for a single dash punch. Unfortunately, there was not a core there to be able to convert it, but offense from the top side is once again being engaged. Tofu Fortress of the top side helping out Otaku as much as it can, but Obscure Bread is able to hold it down. It goes over to them, and both the brawlers are able to get the barrier here. Otaku is looking low, possibly dead if he's not careful, but with a beautiful evade there, he was able to keep it up. Zaxback a little greedy with the offense there, almost gets it. A little lucky as it tries to float behind the barrier, but doesn't quite happen. Spencer's, oh my god, Zaxback hits the core flip to the bottom, but 3 brings it back to Turbo, and it goes in.
Turbo being able to cover the core flip that unfortunately, Zaxmack and Wee had a little bit of anti-synergy there, pretty unfortunate if you're the side of Wee, but Strike still in this game is gonna have a great time. But that's gonna be 2 kills coming from that's gonna be 2 kills from the side of both teams here, and looking at a pretty neutral state here as Real Osaku does come back, and yeah, honestly, the corner offense from Weeb looking absolutely fantastic right now, and if they're able to keep, answering with those corner offenses, I think they can probably take this game as they are up a set currently.
Absolutely. We and Altaku are showing the power of double brothers here as they are able to convert this point almost meticulously, but not quite, as now We is looking not long for this world. Almost puts it into the top corner there, or I guess bottom corner I should say. Oh my god, We gets the hook and is able to, oh my god, the offense is being put on the top corner, but unfortunately nothing comes of it, which is honestly fair enough because tried to pass around the power play here, but Obscure Breads is now looking pretty low. 2 brawlers is definitely enough to try and kill Breads here. It's definitely worth going for it, and now We with a beautiful conversion in the corner, and Otaku able to convert it with the up clear. It's now 1-1.
Yeah, the corner offense from the side of Weeb is looking so fantastic right now. Real Otaku and we just being able to collapse onto Strike so well. Obscure Breads, despite being an Alpha goalie, is having a pretty hard time defending against this double brawler here, as that's going to be kill onto Turbo from Real Otaku. Real Otaku is just looking great this game. I think Strike is regretting not banning out this Juliet here.
Absolutely, it's kind of shocking to see both Rasmus and Julie together on Amizap. It's definitely characters that pretty normally get banned out, but clearly this game that was not the case, and we're seeing them run rampant, as we can see. But We trying to get out of the top corner here. Everyone's on Zeki, fighting along the midfield line, trying to get on their side. Obscure Breads, unfortunately, kind of an awkward secondary placement, but it doesn't seem to matter, as offense does manage to rotate successfully. He sends it to the top side. Or they send it to the top side. We gets another hook KO. I swear, that's probably like the 10th one. I'm surprised we haven't seen a kill streak or anything like that yet. I mean, it may have showed up. I definitely didn't notice. They send it to the top side to try and rotate it to Turbo, but he's too fast and manages to catch it. We tries to bring it to Real Otaku. Real Otaku whips dash punch. Oh, Zack's back with the core flip. Unfortunately, he misses the corner, not able to get it out. And Turbo just patiently dribbling, looking to get into position with Zonseki. But it doesn't seem to happen, and the beautiful top corner from Zonseki from across the map. I don't even know how he got that much core speed, but Zaxback wasn't able to react to it.
Yeah, I mean, Zonseki's gonna have to, watch out for these Rasmus hooks as they are catching him absolutely off guard, but that's not gonna mean that they're going down yet, as, the side of Strike is gonna be up a point in the set here, is maybe gonna be able to take it to set 5. And they're both teams here just looking absolutely great as the core flip through the barrier, behind the barrier is going to be what happens, and it's just unfortunate, but that's going to mean, or that's going to be a barrier taken down from WEEB, and now they're in a pretty disadvantaged spot here.
Absolutely, this offense is looking very scary. Obscure Brace is so far pushed up, and he also has a curve flip looking to spend it, but it doesn't matter because Turbo with a beautiful Giga managed to win the interaction against Wii, and Zaxback was in position to be able to catch it afterwards. And now we're going to set 5, and it looks like Weasel V's is back on the back foot.
Yeah, I'm looking at the adrenaline rush on Julie right now. If Strike does not deny this adrenaline rush right now, it could be pretty catastrophic. However, that is going to be what Turbo takes here, as it's not really ideal on Kai, but if you're able to get the Giga Blast kills, Giga Blast is a pretty strong ability. If he's able to get some of those kills, then I can see it working out, as Juliet here, despite being taken adrenaline rush from them, is going to opt for the bulk up. And I'm thinking that, honestly, I think that the side of WEEB is absolutely taking the favor of this draft here.
Absolutely. They have all the Staker Wakings, making sure that Strike Second didn't get a single one of those, because they actually had every single one. They have Reptile Remedy, Bulk Up, and Peak Performance, not all in the same person. But that's not really the point, as that's just so much survivability taken away from these guys, and we're definitely seeing it in full effect here, as Zonsek is already taken off the field. And now, it seems like Turbo's trying to 1v9 the offense, but he isn't quite able to cover everything as it goes to the top side to Wii. Wii tries to, convert here with Real Otaku, but it's a little chaotic, but they do manage to keep it in the top side. They tried to rotate it around Turbo, but managed to put it back up. We with a beautiful punch, able to get the barrier there. And oh my god, I've never even realized how far that hook was going until a whip like that. And I think did he get anything new? No, he did not. That's just the... Where is all that range coming from, actually? I'm not very sure, but despite that, Turbo holding onto the core here very patiently. Zonseki splits at the top bottom. Oh my god, a poorly timed core flip from Zaxback there. But first point does go to Strike Second, and it looks like they want to win the series right here and right now.
Yep, the answer from Strike looking like it's coming into full fruition right now, as they're able to answer with just the brute force and the pure, just Strike Wars coming out. But that's not gonna mean that WEEB is out of this yet, as Wii is gonna get another kill onto Zonseki, and the rotate coming out as well. If they're able to kind of get the rotates going, and if they're able to play this corner offense correctly, I could see WEEB maybe taking the advantage here.
Absolutely, it looks like they're struggling a little bit here as Turbo once again running a truck, but it doesn't matter because now he just got shot. But on the behalf, it's now Obscure Brent's turning to 1v9, but competition here managed to hold barrier, but tries to go around, but wasn't able to get the proper angle. Crowd was too close to the barrier, and now he has to pull it down. Oh my god, there's so much to do! And he almost managed to get it, but unfortunately, Wii was there to cover the outclear on the bottom. That Tofu Fortress putting in so much work, making it look like there was a 4th strike in their team, and now it's 1-2-1.
Yep, the side of Strike are just gonna have to answer these absolute, this absolute entourage, this absolute onslaught of kills coming out from WEEB right here, as the Juliet and Raz, that's not gonna be one to scoff at, as they get a barrier of their own, and it's looking pretty good. Wii with the 10 kill streak. If he's able to keep these kills up, then I am looking at Wii for taking this second game here.
Absolutely, which is honestly very surprising considering the fact that they're pretty unconventional COD. double brawler, and Real Tactics once again. Like, NASA debut, but it's kind of putting on like a crazy show right now. But unfortunately, Sonseki is looking to put an end to that as a beautiful core flip after taking that barrier. He gets the point, and now Real Taku and Weasel Bees is looking like they are once again on the back foot, but it doesn't seem like something that they're uncomfortable.
As there's gonna be 3 flips here coming out from the side of WEEB. Gonna have to be able to scale up with these flips here quickly, as the flips from the side of Strike are gonna be all expended here to get this defense. But that's gonna be a kill onto Real Otaku. We with the flip though. It's
Oh,
almost gonna be able to put it in, but it's not quite able to.
oh,
As that's another kill onto Wee, though, or that's another kill onto Zonseki. And you know, Weeb are trying their absolute best in this game too. Here, they're not out of this at all. But it's looking, it looks like the side of Strike is able to sustain the onslaught coming out from Weeb. Just that they have a lot of answers with the Kai here, with the just being able to hold down the fort so well with the now. And I think it's pretty exciting going into these last couple points here.
Lily now doing a surprisingly good job at holding it down despite playing against 2 brawlers. And now Core is flying everywhere as Obscure Brits gets to touch Core after all that chaos, and it flows to the top side, and Zaxpack was unfortunately not able to touch it in time. Such an explosive entrance. As soon as it hit overtime, they were able to get the point, and that is now a 2-0 series on behalf of Strike Second.
That was so unfortunate coming out from the side of Weeb, almost being able to catch it with the Duber roll. I think that the roll and the core were going at the exact same pace, but Zaxmack just not being able to catch him, unfortunately. As the Rasmus with 14 KOs, not he has more saves, or he has more KOs than he has saves. I think that the Rasmus was almost able to clutch it out single-handedly, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case, as Strike does take the series 2-0 here.
Yeah, definitely that. They definitely had their roles defined, and there was not a midfielder that game. There was a KOer and there was a scorer. We had 14 KOs there, which is insane. Compared to the other team, they only got like what 7, 8? Well, 9, I guess. They got 9. That's not even as much as we got, and that's honestly pretty crazy. Like we didn't get much like goal participation, but that didn't really matter because Ryotaku was pretty independent and just kind of scoring. They kind of had a system set up, and it was basically just we gets the KO, they do the power play, and the real attack scores, and then both Zaxpack and we just kind of cover all the clear options so that Obscure Brits just kind of has to try and win the 1v1 against Otaku. And unfortunately, he was not able to win them enough, as he was able to bring it to set 5, which is very impressive. That's very impressive indeed, considering like the team that he was up against, like Obscure Brits, once again, very strong goalie, and definitely the most decorated player on their team. But that doesn't discredit the work of Sonseki and Turbo either, because they were putting on a clinic with Turbo's the MVP here, getting a crazy Kai build, and Kai is also a very strong character this patch. I do believe he did get nerfed, but originally he did have like a 1 second buff on his secondary, which is crazy. They did get rid of that, but even then, I still think this is a pretty strong patch for him overall, considering the fact that Chrono Boost is in rotation, and we saw so much value out of that, on top of the fact they got aerials. I think that this Kai was able to scale out of control, and despite the fact that like these little birds were playing the damage game, which is what you want to do on Amizat, they were able to just core control better around the damage comp, and they were able to win the series because of that.
I definitely agree here, but that does not discredit the 3 off rollers here and Real Otaku making his debut games, as he was looking honestly pretty strong despite not looking like it, as the stats kind of show otherwise, but he was looking pretty strong. I honestly, like, if you were to put like a NASA brawler and him in the game, I'll not be able to differentiate it much. Of course, that like might be a little bit of an overstatement, but I think in general, for his first time being in NASA, he was looking pretty good in my opinion. But yeah, that is going to be Strike taking the series 2-0, absolutely playing their hearts out in these 2 games here. As the set 5 theater was an absolute show to watch.
It was definitely a beautiful last game and a great like debut performance from Otaku, despite the fact that he lost. Like both games were definitely competitive. They brought the second game to set 5, and he was definitely pulling the weight. He looked like he was in play, like he was comfortable. He did not look out of place at all, and I just like to say congrats to him. And I don't know who we have next up, but I don't think it will be us casting it. So with that being said, it was a pleasure casting with you, Daru, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Peace.